Hi, I'm Sterling Perrin, and I'm here with Tim Pennell from Juniper Networks, and we're talking today about Cloud Metro and the applicability of Cloud Metro to 5G transport.
Okay,
Two things I'm following closely.
let's
Good.
chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Cloud Metro, we've talked before a bit about the concept in general, but how does that apply to the mobile networks in terms of drivers?
So, first of all, it's worth saying that Cloud Metro is really, if you like, extensions to what we would perhaps call traditional metro or traditional access aggregation. So there are some enhancements that we feel that we need to make in the metro space. Um, it doesn't mean that you can't use Cloud Metro to deploy traditional metros. The opposite, of course, is not true because of the enhancements. And those enhancements that we make are primarily around a few areas. So a key one is automation and bringing really cloud-delivered, AI-enabled automation to the metro platforms. Another key one is we really want to, given the traffic demands that 5G is driving on the networks, we don't believe it's sustainable to have network operators, continually upgrading their install base all of the time to cope with the increasing traffic. So we're trying to drive a set of products from the small through all the way through the large, which are, from a longevity perspective, in terms of how long they're in the network, can have a longer horizon. So just trying to reduce the carbon footprint of the overall network by avoiding some of those upgrade steps. And then the last piece is really trying to redefine a little bit what we feel a 5G IP services fabric should have as a baseline. So, of course, IP services level connectivity in the fabric, whether it's traditional metro or cloud metro, spine leaf architectures are becoming more common. But beyond all of that connectivity type of discussion, really talking about an IP services fabric that is both assured from a services perspective and also secured from an end-to-end security perspective.
Okay, yeah, and you mentioned actually a number of different points that get made in our discussions with operators and in our surveys. We did a survey earlier around Cloud Metro and network modernization, and one of the key findings from that was the importance, top priority given to reliability in 5G networks specifically. How does the Cloud Metro directly contribute to improved reliability for an operator?
So one of the things, again, really comes back to the automation side of things. So when we think about reliability of networks, of course, you can go back to individual platform MTBFs and things like that, and the way that we build those networks. Really, in those areas, there's nothing particularly about the Cloud Metro architecture that is significantly different to what we do in traditional metro network architectures. So, we still, like I said, those spine leaf approaches that we have been building for a while in traditional metro architectures, we keep those. Generally, if you think about a scale-out architecture, which is something that we see more of, and certainly we advocate as part of Cloud Metro, with a spine layer and then different leaves depending on the services you need to build. Scaling out that spine layer does move you away from that kind of 1+1 type hub nodes that we had in the past with our aggregation networks. That in general makes it more reliable. But I think if we think about some of the major differences between traditional metro and cloud metro, really, again, we come back to that automation and that service assurance, both of which are really very much focused around uptime of the network and guaranteeing the services that are going across them, really trying to get away from the manual operations in towards that AI-enabled operations mode where you get insights and things that are difficult to spot without those end-to-end network insights that the AI and the automation gives you. Things it's very hard to, whether it's black hole detection or optical impairments, things like this, stuff that is very hard to identify and to spot without that end-to-end view and without that automated AI view. So it brings a level of uptime to the network that was not there previously, and uptime at the end of the day is reliability.
Yeah, an interesting point. Another important point that came through from that Cloud Metro survey was the importance for network modernization around automation, and you've talked a bit about automation. One of the interesting areas that Juniper is moving into is automation in the cloud. It's kind of a new concept. Can you talk a little bit about that and specific to, again, to the 5G networks?
Very much so. So moving to the cloud rapidly is definitely a leadership step that we're taking there. We feel it's important. Essentially, we're taking proven technology that we've had as part of our Mist solution from an AI perspective and moving that into the Metro domain, and that's part of our Cloud Metro solution. And why is that important? Well, again, it's if you think about why we put things into the cloud and why we share information like that, it's because it means that rather than everybody doing their own automation solution or operation solution in silos, now we have basically shared knowledge pool, which goes into that AI and that machine learning, if you like. And that really allows us from the get-go basically to say to a customer, okay, why don't we partner, log on to Paragon Cloud, and you can actually be productive in minutes. And you also get the benefit of baked-in AI that's already there. And that AI that's already there comes not from them because they've never used it before, but from their peers who have already been using the platform and who may have found problems that they're going to experience. And so it allows you to move away from kind of being reactive in terms of responding to problems in the network to being a little bit more predictive and to being proactive and saying, hey, here's something happening or something that's going to happen. Maybe you want to be proactive in doing something about that before it impacts your service. Now, there's a lot of debate about, we talk to customers and they're like, oh, cloud.
Yes.
And the thing is what is cloud, right? It can have very many different meanings depending on your context. Yes, it can mean a global cloud, can be some Amazon service that everyone is sharing globally. Generally, that's not going to work for most of our service provider customers. In fact, there are laws in certain countries that says, no, you have to keep the cloud within our country. And even beyond that, for some of our customers, they're not even comfortable with that. They don't want to share necessarily with their neighbor. Yes, they want to have the benefit of the shared learning, but the idea of having some management link into a shared cloud, they have worries about security. And so from that perspective, the cloud could actually be a private cloud just for that service provider.
Right.
And all of their network systems can share that cloud, but it's only for that customer. So the concept of cloud-enabled automation as a service, it can be private cloud, it can be national cloud, it can be theater-specific clouds. It has different meaning for different people, but we're going to have to do all of those.
Right, and it's kind of an evolution. The more cautious will start private and then maybe move things to the public over time. Last topic is on Metro, not Metro, but open networks for the Metro. Open, it's hard to talk to an operator without being asked about open. Can you just address Cloud Metro in the context of where it's open?
I mean, I think generally, if you look at Juniper's history, it's very much about open standards, open everything. We don't really see any benefit from a Juniper perspective or for our customers making something that's a closed architecture. There are closed architectures out there, I won't mention them, but generally it's not good for the industry if something is closed. Actually, solutions generally get better if we have competition. We all improve the solution. We want Cloud Metro not to be a Juniper thing, but to be an industry thing. We believe that it's something that the industry needs. We're responding to shifts and trends that we already see happening. We're helping to push the envelope on those, but ultimately, it's only going to be successful if the whole industry agrees and converges around driving that solution. So absolutely, has to be open, whether it's, open config and all of the uplinks that we have to the automation side of thing, whether it's all of the same standard MEF, IETF, ITU, IEEE, etc. They're all the same standards that we have on our traditional Metro. We're just doing a few extra things around, like I said, the automation, again, standards-based, around some of what we expect, and again, we're, some of the enhancements we're making around security and monitoring of services, up the application layer. It's all standards-based information. So we don't want to close anything down. It has to be open. That's the only way that Cloud Metro as an industry solution will be successful.
All right, excellent. Appreciate your time and perspective and wish you luck.
Thank you very much.
Good talking to you, Tim.
Cheers.
Bye.